A deadly pair embarked on a violent killing spree before embarking on a journey through the wild terrain of Canada. While the Canadian Armed Forces and the RCMP launched an extensive hunt for the two, their eventual capture had a unique twist involving a member of the Fox Lake Cree Nation and a raven, which ultimately brought their rampage to an end. If you're new to this channel, welcome to True Crime Inspector. If you have a passion for all things true crime, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on our daily content. Now let's delve into the case of Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski. In the picturesque city of Sydney, Australia, Lucas Fowler, a young man with a passion for adventure, led a charmed life. Born on September 30th, 1995, he grew up in Hornsby, Sydney, the son of New South Wales Police Chief Inspector Stephen Fowler and his wife Shannon Fowler. Lucas shared his life with his siblings Jacob, Isaac, and Savannah. As a thoughtful young man with a charming smile, Lucas attended Ku-ring-gai High School. Growing up as the fourth child in the Fowler family, he found inspiration in his older siblings, nurturing a love for the outdoors, adventure, camping, and dirt bike riding. His wanderlust led him on a 2-year backpacking journey around the world in 2016. During his travels, Lucas arrived in Croatia, a European country known for its stunning islands, natural beauty, and as a backdrop for the Game of Thrones series. Croatia boasts over 2,700 hours of sunshine annually, even more than sunny Sydney. It was during his stay in Croatia that Lucas Fowler encountered China Deese. China was born on January 25, 1995, in North Carolina on the eastern coast of the United States. She was the daughter of Dwayne and China Deese and had 2 siblings, Stetson and Kennedy. China pursued her education at Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina, sharing Lucas's passion for travel and adventure. Their mutual interest in exploration brought them together. Lucas was immediately smitten with China, and their affection for each other grew rapidly. The couple fell deeply in love, and for both of them, home was now thousands of miles away from their places of birth. However, the challenge of maintaining a long-distance relationship didn't deter Lucas. He swiftly applied for a working holiday visa in Canada. The two spent their first Christmas together in China's hometown in the United States. Shortly after the new year, Lucas left for a remote ranch in British Columbia, Canada, to work, while China soon joined him. It was during their time at the ranch that the adventurous couple hatched a plan. Equipped with a blue van, some savings, and a thirst for Canadian wilderness, Lucas and China decided to embark on an unforgettable journey. After saying goodbye to the ranch owner, they packed their bags, setting out for Liard Hot Springs. On the evening of July 13, 2019, surveillance footage at a gas station in Fort Nelson captured Lucas and China arriving to refuel their van. They were driving a 1986 blue Chevrolet van that Lucas had lovingly restored during his time at the ranch. Their interactions with each other and their affectionate embraces were captured by security cameras. China ventured inside the station to make a purchase, while Lucas finished refueling. They then headed back to their van, eager and ready for their upcoming adventures. This would be the last time their happy faces were captured on camera. Just 36 hours later, their lives would come to a tragic and horrifying end. On July 14th, the day after their visit to the gas station, Lucas and China's van appeared to break down on the Alaska Highway, roughly 20 kilometers south of Liard Hot Springs. Around 3:20 p.m., a mechanic named Curtis Broughton and his wife Sandra pulled over to check on the couple after seeing their stranded van. To Curtis's surprise, Lucas and China seemed calm and in control, enjoying a picnic while waiting for the van's engine to dry out. Lucas assured Curtis that he knew what he was doing, and the couple waved them off, seemingly unconcerned. However, at approximately 7 a.m. the next day, Lucas and China were discovered dead, their van still stationary in the same spot. Both of them lay lifeless in a ditch, facing down and about 5 feet apart from each other. Their bodies displayed visible gunshot wounds, and 5 spent shell casings were found nearby. The van's rear doors were ajar and its windows were shattered. The young couple's dreams of adventure had been cruelly extinguished. This horrific discovery devastated not only Lucas and Chinna's friends and families, but also the communities in British Columbia, where the tragic news sent shockwaves. The once happy couple had been brutally murdered, and a sense of foreboding began to permeate the region. However, the grim events were far from over. 5 days later, on July 19th, approximately 200 kilometers west of Liard Hot Springs in Dease Lake, another disturbing incident unfolded. In the early hours of the morning, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, received reports of a burning truck in a pullout area near Dease Lake. While at the scene, the police were informed that a body had been discovered at a pullout a few kilometers south of the burning truck. The deceased individual had sustained multiple injuries, and a pool of blood surrounded the body where it lay. The identity of the man and the owner of the truck remained a mystery at this point. Police eventually identified the truck's owner as Cam McLeod, a young man, and they learned that he, along with his friend Briar Schmigelski, had been saving money for a northern work trip. However, the body found at the scene did not match the profiles of Cam or Briar. As a result, the two young men were reported as missing persons. The situation in British Columbia was growing increasingly perplexing and concerning. A young couple had been gunned down, another person's body was found 200 kilometers away, and now 2 19-year-old men were missing, with their truck discovered engulfed in flames. The possibility of a spree killer on the loose, who had potentially abducted the two teenagers, was considered. Yet, there was more to this chilling story. In the days that followed, the RCMP delved deeper into the backgrounds of Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski. Both hailed from Port Alberni, a small port city on Vancouver Island. With a population of just 18,000, Port Alberni relied heavily on salmon fishing and forestry for its economy, offering little excitement or prospects for its residents. Cam and Briar, both 19, had graduated from high school but were employed at their local Walmart. Although employed, they led relatively uneventful lives, with their free time dominated by video games, particularly Call of Duty. Their gaming habits began to raise concerns among their friends. Briar, in particular, lost friends due to his behavior between 2017 and 2019. He exhibited extreme ideologies, often glorifying Hitler, sharing extremist views with friends, and displaying images of himself wearing a Nazi armband. Briar even made his friends uncomfortable by discussing scenarios from shooter games as if they were real. His excitement while discussing these ideas became a cause for concern. As detectives worked to trace Cam and Briar's movements, they uncovered disturbing details. On the morning of July 12, 2019, just 2 days before Lucas and Chinna's murder, Cam and Briar left their homes in Port Alberni. Later that same day, surveillance footage captured the pair leaving a store with an SKS carbine and ammunition. On the evening of July 15th, the same day as Lucas and Chinna's murder, surveillance cameras recorded Cam and Briar at a gas station near Whitehorse in Yukon Territory. Their route took them directly through the area where the young couple had been killed by gunfire. On the morning of July 19th, Cam and Briar were seen on CCTV footage at a gas station near Terrace, British Columbia, now driving a RAV4. By July 21st, Cam and Briar had reached a store in the small city of Meadow Lake in Saskatchewan, Canada. They had driven over 1,300 miles across the country and were heading toward Hudson's Bay. By July 22nd, a week had passed since Lucas and Chinna's murder, and the RCMP was growing increasingly confident that Cam and Briar were not missing, but were instead the prime suspects in the killings. On that day, 2 significant events occurred. Firstly, a woman from Vancouver made a phone call to the RCMP. She had seen the sketch of the man found dead 2 kilometers south of Cam's burning truck. She informed the police that her husband's appearance matched the sketch, and he had been in the area but hadn't been heard from since the day before the body was discovered. Subsequent DNA tests confirmed the tragic match, identifying the victim as Leonard Dick. Leonard, a 64-year-old botany lecturer at the University of British Columbia, was taking a solo camping trip to relax outside the classroom. His vehicle matched the RAV4 that Cam and Breyer had been driving just days earlier. The second significant development was the RCMP's announcements. They revealed that Cam McLeod and Breyer Schmigelski were now the prime suspects in 3 murders: Lucas Fowler, Chinadis, and Leonard Dick. A manhunt was launched to locate and apprehend the 2 young men who were now wanted for these heinous crimes.
Today, I'm here to request public assistance in locating suspects in connection to the Northern British Columbia investigations. As a result of the information and the appeal to public that we made yesterday in connection with the Dease Lake investigation and the disappearance of Cam McLeod and Breyer Schmigelski, we were able to confirm new information and issue a new plea. For the past few days, investigators have been focusing their efforts on locating Cam and Breyer, given that their vehicle and camper had been located on fire and the 2 were considered missing. We have also been working to identify a man whose body was discovered deceased 2 kilometers south of the vehicle fire at a highway pullout. Investigators have also been able to confirm that Cam McLeod and Breyer Schmigelski have left British Columbia. We believe that they're likely continuing to travel. Though we don't have a possible destination, we can now confirm that they were last seen driving a gray 2011 Toyota RAV4. Given these latest developments, Cam and Breyer are no longer considered missing. The RCMP are now considering Cam McLeod and Breyer Schmigelski as suspects in the Dease Lake suspicious death and the double homicide of Lucas Fowler and China Dease. We're asking for the public, if you spot Breyer or Cam, consider them dangerous. Do not approach, take no action, and call immediately 911.
On the same day as the RCMP's announcement, a report of a vehicle on fire in a remote area of northern Manitoba came in. 2 members of the Fox Lake Cree Nation, Billy Beardy and his wife Tamara Beardy, were out berry picking when they noticed smoke rising above the trees. The burning car matched the description of Leonard's RAV4. While they were unaware of the fugitives at the time, Billy and Tamara reported the incident to the police. Although they didn't spot Cam or Breyer, it would later be confirmed that the burning vehicle was indeed the one the 2 had been driving. Cam and Breyer were now fugitives on the run. They had traveled over 2,000 miles from Dease Lake to Sundance, reaching the easternmost point possible by car, where rural road 290 came to an end. Unable to proceed any further, they abandoned their vehicle, took it off-road, and set it on fire using matches. Although the RCMP and the Canadian Army were aware of their presence in the area, they didn't have exact information about their whereabouts. There was concern that the 2 might be hiding within the community or posing a threat to potential victims. Over the next few days, a massive police and military presence descended upon the Gillam area, a town located southwest of Fox Lake. Extensive efforts were made to locate Cam and Breyer. Helicopters scanned the land using infrared technology, military aircraft patrolled the Nelson River, and local railway lines were locked down. The manhunt was in full swing as authorities worked tirelessly to track down the fugitives and bring them to justice. Despite the extensive military and police presence, including police dogs, ground searches, drones, and military vehicles patrolling the roads, Cam and Breyer remained elusive. The lack of military presence in Fox Lake added to the frustration and fear among residents, especially after a sighting of the fugitives near Gillam, which was not in the vicinity of the burned-out vehicle located to the east of Fox Lake and Sundance. This situation left many residents feeling unprotected, causing them to lock their doors at night for the first time. The search efforts around the burned-out vehicle continued day and night, with the search area expanding over time. However, despite the persistent efforts, no trace of the two men was found until August 1st. 11 days after Cam and Breyer had abandoned the RAV-4, searchers made a breakthrough. The dense forest made it easy to miss objects hidden in the bush, but upon closer inspection, they discovered Breyer's backpack in the woodlands not far from the car. The discovery of hundreds of unspent bullets near the abandoned vehicle raised hopes for a breakthrough in the search for Cam McLeod and Breyer Schmigelski. It was a promising lead for the RCMP, indicating a possible direction the fugitives might have taken. However, the trail seemed to vanish once again as more items were found, this time located 10 kilometers away from the vehicle along the Nelson River. A boat was also discovered in the river, adding to the intrigue. The search efforts shifted to focus on the Nelson River, but the elusive duo continued to evade capture. As days turned into weeks, frustration grew within the Canadian Armed Forces and the RCMP, and tension escalated in the affected communities. The questions surrounding Cam and Breyer's whereabouts, their survival, and their motives lingered, casting a shadow of fear over the region. The authorities were desperate for a breakthrough in this chilling manhunt. Then, in the midst of this gripping narrative, a hero emerged in the form of Billy Beardy. From the very beginning, Billy played a pivotal role in this unfolding drama. Not only did he report the burning car, but he dedicated 3 weeks to assisting the armed forces in their search efforts. He shared his invaluable knowledge of the local area and facilitated the transportation of military personnel, leveraging his expertise to navigate the challenging waterways of the region. On August 7th, while scouring the rivers with military personnel aboard his boat, Billy noticed a raven flying away from one of the river's ravines. To most, this might have seemed insignificant, but for Billy, it held great significance. As a member of the Fox Lake Cree Nation, he possessed a deep understanding of wildlife behavior. He believed that the presence of a raven indicated the presence of a potential food source, possibly a nearby carcass. Billy's intuition led him to persuade the military personnel to navigate the boat to the ravine's shore. There, they made a profound and chilling discovery. They had finally located Cam McLeod and Breyer Schmigelski. Tragically, both were deceased, with Cam having shot Breyer in the head before turning the gun on himself. Alongside their lifeless bodies, the authorities found a mobile phone filled with videos in which the two confessed to the murders. In these chilling recordings, they revealed their initial plan to march to Hudson Bay, hijack a boat, and attempt to escape to Europe or Africa. However, they abandoned this plan when they reached the formidable river, realizing it was too large and swift-moving. Cam and Breyer's final video messages were disturbing. In them, they admitted to the murders, but offered no discernible motive and showed no remorse for their actions. The high-stakes chase for these fugitives had come to a tragic and unsettling conclusion. Subsequent investigations determined that Leonard Dick had succumbed to a gunshot wound inflicted by Cam's SKS rifle. Leonard, a 64-year-old botany lecturer at the University of British Columbia, left behind a grieving wife and a legacy remembered by his students for his eccentricity and passion for the outdoors. Lucas Fowler and China Deese, two young adults at the dawn of their independence and burgeoning relationship, had their lives cut short by a pair seemingly devoid of empathy and love. Lucas's father, Stephen Fowler, himself a police officer, conveyed the profound impact of the tragedy on his family. The Keewatin Tribal Council rightfully honored Billy for his crucial role in the manhunt and the resolution of this harrowing ordeal. He had put his life on the line for weeks, and his traditional hunting skills ultimately played a pivotal role in bringing the killers to justice. Billy's story serves as a poignant reminder that sometimes, even in the most complex cases, the most basic techniques can be the key to solving a mystery. As we reflect on the case of Cam McLeod and Breyer Schmigelski, it remains a haunting and perplexing tale. The motive behind their killing spree remains elusive, leaving many to wonder what could have driven them to commit such heinous acts. The scars left on the affected communities and the families of the victims serve as a stark reminder of the darkness that can sometimes lurk within individuals. We may never fully understand the motivations behind their actions, but their story will forever serve as a chilling reminder of the capacity for evil in the human psyche. Thank you for watching True Crime Inspector. If you found this case as intriguing and perplexing as we did, please show your support by giving it a like and subscribing to our channel. We value your continued support and engagement. Please share your thoughts on this case in the comments section, as we always enjoy reading your insights. Once again, thank you for being part of our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.